This episode of the Rendezvous with Ruth podcast is brought to you by Ruth Dorsainville, Lifestyle CEO Coaching. If you are looking to create a business that provides you the financial freedom to live and work from anywhere in this world, the Lifestyle CEO Coaching Program provides you the opportunity to create an online business that allows you to focus on the things that matter the most. Time. Time to connect with your loved ones. Time to travel and experience new cultures. Time to learn new skills. Time to grow your business. Coaching is the most valuable tool you can use. It is an investment in yourself, providing you with the highest return: happiness. The Lifestyle CEO Coaching Program will help you clarify and focus to start your own online business, help you leverage your time, help you hire the best team to get your business automated, and accountability to help you achieve anything you have ever dreamed. To help you get started, Ruth Dorsainville is offering you a free strategy session valued at $300. To get started, visit www.ruthdorsainville.com/thelifestyleceo.
Welcome everyone to Rendezvous with Ruth, where we create freedom from your business. Today we have Claudette Anderson. Claudette is a dear friend of mine. I've met her a few years ago. I believe it was about 5 years ago at actually a Tony Robbins event. Yes. And we connected right away. I remember when I met Claudette, I remember thinking this woman is not only honest person. First of all, she's very beautiful. She's like my Benjamin Button. The older she gets, the younger she looks. I'm like, what the hell is it a red thing? Like, is it a red hair thing? But Claudette, from day one, she's been the way that she is right now, always smiling, always just very, very open and very honest. And I remember we had a deep conversation. It was so funny because we were at a business event, but the way that Claudette and I connected was more on a very deep connection, and we talked about spirituality while being in this event, which was great. And later I find out that she was a real estate agent and powerhouse, building so many businesses. And now she's currently working, and she has been doing this for some time now, in terms of helping people find their truth. So without no further ado, I would love to introduce you to Claudette. And Claudette, welcome to the show.
I am super excited, and thank you for that introduction. I love you, and I think you are just smart as a whip, and you're leading people into the path of freedom, and that's just so important. And that's what got me on this journey, Ruth. I started in the corporate world very young. I negotiated my way into every position I ever got. I also negotiated that my college would be paid, and but before that, okay, it looks like you're a powerhouse, right? It looks like you're together, but it wasn't always that way. And there was a VP at Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance who was the first person that told me I was smart.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
I was literally 20 years old when that happened. So beautiful. It's been a while, and I used to be very insecure about myself, and I was raised with a poverty mindset. My mom is a beautiful person, doesn't understand money and success in business and things like that. And in her mind, she told me not everybody's good at math, Claudette. It was just her mindset, right? But I always had that logical mind. And so what happened at Jefferson Pilot is I demonstrated a computer skill, like for the first time. He gave me instructions, and then I didn't need them again. Because like, once you give me instructions, I know what you just gave me instructions. Why do you need to repeat it? That's how I do. So he was like, oh my God, you need to come in my office after. And literally I thought I was in trouble. I was like, what did I do? And he goes, have you ever considered going to college? And I'm like, well, my answer was, I don't think I'm smart enough for college. Mm-hmm. Now, keep in mind, I'm one of those thinkers, and I don't recommend this for anyone in high school, but to me, high school, it didn't make sense to me. Why am I learning something that I'm not going to apply in the real world? And so I basically went through the first 3 years of high school, not even picking up a book and testing out just by what I heard, and then the fourth year, I got into legal street racing. That's a whole nother conversation, Ruth. But I got in trouble, and I was told, to stay out of trouble, you need to have good grades, la, la, la. And that was by a judge. Okay. So I was like, okay. And I started making straight A's.
Wow.
And then, I went and got a corporate job. And then he's like, you know what? You're really smart. You need to go back to school. I was like, I have no idea. Then I went back to school, and the company started paying for it. And I started being on the president's list. And I was like, you know what? I honestly think I could, if I actually open a book and read it, I can make this happen. And that was the beginning of my corporate journey. And that was the beginning of me climbing that ladder and figuring it out. But, there's everybody talks about mindset. Can I go a little deeper than mindset?
Go for it.
Okay, perfect. So, we are what we believe. And everybody talks about their thoughts. We need to get control of our thoughts. Think better thoughts and you'll have a better life. Well, on a surface level, that's actually very true. But where do our thoughts come from? And they come from beliefs that are encoded deep within us, in our heart, in our soul. I didn't know this at the time. So I had all these thoughts, just chee. I call it a chihuahua humping your leg. It's like, it just doesn't stop. Wakes you up in the middle of the night, all this stuff. Fear hitting you. Anytime anything would happen from the outside. And what I began to understand is, how can I become unshakable? And I kept wanting to climb that ladder, but I had all these beliefs that would make me believe I couldn't. And I was like, well, how do I get rid of those? And I read a book by Wayne Dyer, and it was The Power of Manifestation. That was like the first self-help thing I had read. And that was in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Remember? Yeah, I love him. Love him. And so I read that, and I was like, oh my God, my thoughts are very powerful. And if we think about it, in quantum physics, when a molecule is observed, it changes its reaction just by our brain wavelengths, right? Mm-hmm. So it's okay, Ruth.
Sorry, 2 seconds. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Mm-hmm. So we look at that and we understand that our thoughts are wavelengths that go out, that create, that figure things out. And Ruth, if you want to put him on mute and ask him to go, you can.
Yeah,
go
just a minute.
Really quick.
Just a minute.
See, guys, this is just real life. Excuse me. I'm going to have a drink of coffee while she's doing that. You know what? This is real life.
No, it is, because you know what? This is because of the coronavirus. We are unfortunately have to be in a particular screen area. But sorry, please go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. And in things like that, this is my whole thing. This is a perfect example of what I was saying. So we couldn't have cued that at a better time. Things happen. Somebody came up with the idea of, happens, right? So it just does. So how are we going to stand as things happen, and how can we adapt to it? And how can we begin to understand our true identity? And it's that part of us that is untouchable. It's not defined by the world. It's defined by who we are at our core. And so, someone may come in the room and talk during a live. It's fine. Different things are going to happen. What shakes you and what makes you? And I'm interested in going deeper within, asking for the truth about who I am. And so I began to go on this journey, and I came down with stage 4 cancer. I had stage 4 cervical cancer. And it was in the 90s. It's fine. There's nothing to be sorry for. It's gone. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was healed. and I refused surgery. Now, I'm also logical, so I kept getting tested. I'm not one of those people that go, I'm going to be healed, and then I don't get tested, and I end up, I'm just not going there. But
somebody says defined by our Creator.
Yes, defined by the Creator.
It's a very powerful thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Well, we were defined internally by the Creator. Nothing can shake us. Anything can hit against us, because if we're standing in the truth of who we are and the eternal truth, we're unshakable. And so I began to discover this at a deeper level when I had stage 4 cancer. It went from 1 to 4 in like 4 or 5 months. And it was cervical cancer, which is normally a slow cancer, but this one was not. Okay. And so I canceled surgery 3 times, and I challenged truth. I said, if this is all real, if there really is a higher power other than me, which I believe there was, but I didn't want it to be wrapped in religion. I wanted the connection, the relationship. I wanted it to be as pure as possible. And I'm not saying religion isn't. I'm not judging it. But I just wanted that connection. I said, I'm going to challenge it. I should be healed. But I need to know, like, this healing thing. What do you do, right? How do you do this? And I was riding my bike on a college campus. I'd gone back to college. Okay. And I just left GE Negotiations Financial. I worked in the negotiations division doing risk. I did risk analysis, statistics, stuff like that. And I had just left that, went back to campus, got diagnosed, and was riding my bike back from computer engineering to finance. And so the campuses were so far apart, you needed a bike just to do it. And it came to me on the bike. Now, this works for everybody, because if you've ever had a gut feeling or intuition, it's already proven to work. So it was an intuitive feeling that came to me. And it was like, it's what you believe that allows the cancer. Now, that's what came to me. And if anyone has had cancer, I'm not judging where you are, what you are. This is not about that. But that's what I received. And I was like, what do you mean what I believe? And I got at that moment, the power is being placed back to you. Because if it's what we allow, doesn't that put you in the position of the power? Okay. Then I was like, well, what do I believe that allowed it? And I began to realize I was being very hard on myself. I hated myself. I mean, this is just the real deal. I was mad at myself every time I would make a mistake. I got frustrated. I had this, this thing that I had to be perfect. And I was exhausted trying to be, right? And so I began to get truth riding my bike, because I realized when my brain was out of the way was when I would get this information. When my brain was in the way, it was the chihuahua, just yap, yap, yap. And so I was like, huh. And I went, this applies for everything. So we are so caught in listening to our brain and using that intellect that even Einstein said there was a higher intellect. There's a higher knowing. If you start to study scientists, which I'm a science geek, you start to study Tesla, Einstein, even Beethoven, Mozart, they said their motivation came from something higher. And I was like, huh. And I started realizing on occasion, I get these gut feelings. It took me I got healed from cancer. Okay. The doctor thought I was crazy. Okay. She's like, she liked me until I was like, I'm going to be healed. And she just thought I had lost my mind. But then when I came back to get the last test, they called me a week later and they go, we don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, it's working. And we're floored, because we thought you had lost your mind. And I said, I know. And they said, well, come back in another month just to make sure. But we think you're good. Like, there's no sign of cancer. And I haven't had it since.
Beautiful. What an amazing story. What an amazing story.
Yeah.
So now I want to step back, because I want to go back to, because as many people, so I'm actually very blessed, because my parents, my mother is of fate. So it was very easy. So she taught me fate. All right. Fate was, you know what, when we had nothing, let's say, to eat, because when we grew up in a poor environment, she would say, don't worry, God will provide. And little behold, God will provide. God did provide. I'm like, wait a minute, it works, you know? And just putting your faith into the universe and putting your faith into God, which is the all intelligence, right? So traveling around the world, I've met many people that honestly did not understand that concept. They have no clue on what the hell I was talking about or anybody's talking about when it comes to that. And what I wanted to ask you is, for people that don't know anything about spirituality, how would they first, what would be the first step just to start opening their mind of the idea of having something greater than themselves?
So that's why I bring into intuition and the gut feeling, because everyone has had that. Everyone has had it. And everyone gets guidance at some point. Now, some people trust in it and some people don't. I've heard people go, I can't trust my intuition. No, you can't trust your mind, which gets in the way after you receive the intuition and the chihuahua starts running around. That's what you can't trust. Okay. So the easiest way to do this is to start testing, and the truth, the eternal truth, is available for everyone. It discriminates against no one. And it is something that is our birthright. And there are certain universal truths. Ask and it is given. Knock and the door is open. Seek and ye shall find. And so, and people go, well, it's not going to work on me. Okay, well, if you've ever received a gut feeling or an intuitive feeling, it works. And you can't say you haven't. I don't know of a single person. You know, if we follow our intuition, we're usually happy. You know, when you get those little warnings and you don't follow it, oh my God, you're like, why the heck? I knew I shouldn't do that. That's the guidance. So we're always doing this. We're just doing it unconsciously. And occasionally it rises up to the conscious level. So the truth method, what I share with people and teach them how to do, it's so easy. Let's just be like a child. And let's just go, I'm just going to ask and the answer will come to me. Not worried about when, not worried about how. Now, the truth method, it's immediate. It's like it's a method that goes down to where we can ask, we receive the answer. It's immediate. It brings it to a conscious level. And it's like having that guidance all the time. But to start out with, let's say nobody's ever done it. You've never talked to me, or I'm on here, you're hearing this and you're like, what do I do? Just go, what do I believe about this? So anytime you have a thought that keeps coming through your mind or a feeling that rises up, you know, those feelings that hit us and they're kind of icky. What do I believe that allows this? And just release that answer, let it go. You'll be taking a shower. You'll be walking down the hall. You'll be doing something. The answer will come. And then once you get that, what is the truth? The truth method just compresses the time. Keep in mind, for me, it took me a few years to get to this. Okay. I started in 94, 95. I discovered how to access truth within in 2000. So it took a little, and then I still, by a very kind lady, and then I still got a download on how to alter this and make it faster. Okay. And then I still had to do my path. Now people do it within a month of practice, 2 months of practice. It took me a few years of getting it right and helping other people and discovering. And I'm very scientific and analytical. So I would start to look for patterns. You know, you look for patterns. People are reacting this way. But it is your birthright to say, what do I believe and what's the truth? And the reason why this is so important is if there's anything we're striving to reach in business, in relationships, in our life, in a fulfilled life. And you know that feeling when you just procrastination, you just haven't done something, but you know you should, or you want that next position, you want that next thing. And there's something that it kind of kills that desire. Like you want it, you get excited, and then it's like, right? That means there's a limiting belief in there.
Now,
And,
go ahead.
and
Sorry,
if
go
you
ahead.
get rid of it, you can fly. That's my thing. Get truth on that belief, and then boom, there's no limit. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Now, would you, I get a lot of comments right now. People are saying that it's like listening to the voice of God. Faith is everything. Jesus said, ask, knock, and seek. Now, in terms of, does that have to do with the ego? Is that what you would call the ego? In terms of that chihuahua?
I can have a lovely conversation on the ego. I love this question. So the ego can either have truth or it can be based on lies and deception. So if you're everyone, I call it the programming. Everyone has the monkey BS, the programming. Everybody has it. And so here's a lie. Claudette, you don't deserve anything good. That's what I used to believe. You don't deserve anything good because I grew up in poverty. My mom was very spiritual. Both of my grandfathers were pastors. But see, the thing is, I didn't always see people healed. That's where I was like, I didn't always see the fruition of everything happening, which is why I challenged and tested it. Spirit of Truth don't care if you test it because Spirit of Truth is true. It don't matter. You can test it all you want to. So that's why I tested it with the cancer and I was healed. Okay. And then I said, well, how do I get more of this every day? And then I began to understand my identity was linked to things that were false. So let's go deeper on that. When your identity is linked to things that are false, that means you believe things that are not true about it. And that's what causes us to get triggered. Because when someone says something and it hits up against a false belief in our identity, it's so fragile. We have to overreact and rise up in anger and this and that. Oh my God, I can't believe they said that because it's false. And it's so fragile. Wind can blow it over. If you get truth on whatever that belief is, now you're solid. You're standing in the truth. Nothing can penetrate it. And then you look at the person as they're talking going, wow, that's the programming. They've got some monkey BS going on. And you start to have love and grace for them. And another thing I do is I go, let me see their spirit. Let me see who they really are beyond the BS. And then I just stand there and my thought to them is, may the golden light of truth go into the heart for their soul to be free.
Wow, that's a beautiful prayer.
Because if you're hitting up against what is true within me, the only thing I can do is have grace for you because I know where I used to be. I know how fragile I used to be. And that is the ego attached to false beliefs. When the ego gets truth, it surrenders. It surrenders to the truth. And it goes in the corner. The chihuahua goes in the corner and takes a nap. Because you know what? Your brain is a beautiful computer system. Your higher brain is located in your soul, which is connected to the eternal truth. That is who you are. That's where you can access all the knowledge, all genius. I've been in the middle of a business meeting and got that gut feeling something isn't right. You know how you get that? And I just asked the truth. I said, reveal whatever is hidden into the dark, bring it into the light. Just a thought through my mind. And the guy, like 2 minutes later, was going, I don't even know why I'm saying this, but this is our real motivation. I went, wow, that's actually not in alignment with what I'm doing. So I'm glad you came out and said that. Otherwise, I might have joined in a project with him that wouldn't have worked out, and there would have been a lot of wasted time. Yeah.
So now tell me, I know you mentioned briefly that your parents, both of them were pastors?
Not both parents, grandparents.
Grandparents. Okay, they were pastors. So would you say that this belief system was passed on to you from your, okay.
It's not anything that got passed on to me from a church. I grew up in church.
Like most of us.
No, but see, I started questioning a lot of things because certain things didn't make sense. I was just like, and I began to study multiple religions and I began to understand, am I brave enough? And I'm not asking anyone to do this, but am I brave enough to drop the religious ideas around something and actually be in relationship with Creator? And I believe when we connect to the eternal truth, we're guided into all things. It gets very simple. Go to them as a 3-year-old, not a 3-year-old with a temper tantrum, but a 3-year-old. And it just gets really simple and beautiful. It doesn't have to have all these doctrines and rules around it. And you can be guided, because to me, guidance is everything, right? Guidance is for our life. It's the freedom. I want my soul free. I want it free from the programming, from any thought that separates me from creation. Mm-hmm. And that's what the truth method is about. It's, but it's not a religion, but it is a relationship. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And I believe in that. I believe that the same way that we get up and get dressed and, learn about certain skills to perform better in our work, then why shouldn't we have that same type of effort in terms of creating a relationship with the truth or whatever, that may be. Right. Now, how would that help in terms from a business perspective? I know a lot of people here, especially in this podcast, are more in tune in terms of being successful in all aspects of life. Yes. But how would that apply as well? Like, how is understanding your truth fundamental in all aspects of your life, including business?
Because the foundation of the core of your being needs the lies removed, the deception removed, because you bring your best self to the table when you're not having to battle the thoughts. And see, here's the beautiful thing about it. When you get truth at a soul level, the thought that was plaguing you goes away. It aligns up immediately. When you get truth at a soul level, the emotion that was making you freeze with fear, gone. Mm-hmm. When you get truth at a soul level, and you'll begin to learn that fear is not your friend, and you actually have power over it through the truth. Okay. When connected to the truth, you can get what you believe that allows it and what the truth is and get rid of it. Mm-hmm. And that's a beautiful thing, because when you bring that into business, how many of us have not went for that job that we really wanted, where we would have fulfillment, but we had a fear that we weren't enough? We had a fear of rejection. And how many of us have been in a job interview and we could not step into certainty? Well, I guarantee this. If you start connecting to the truth in your life, the eternal truth, okay? And there's a way to test that. I test everything. I say, if this is the eternal truth, you can stay. If not, I send it through the fire. I burn it in source fire. I mean, let it go. Mm-hmm. But there's a way to do that. And once you start connecting to that, you'll know how to go into that interview. You'll be in that certainty. You'll know, and you'll also be guided. What do you need to research for that interview? You'll ask for the wisdom. You'll get it. Mm-hmm. See, asking it is given. Mm-hmm. If any of us lack wisdom, it is given to us abundantly. Okay. Mm-hmm. So all of this is true. And you start to see it come to life as this is brought to our consciousness. So it's taking something that happens every now and then, you could be sitting on the toilet and it happens because your brain's out of the way. It's taking that and going, now it's an ongoing thing. I'm being guided as I'm sitting in that interview. I know exactly what to do, what to say, and I'm being guided as to whether that is the right job or not. Mm-hmm. And so why not bring it? I say this, the Spirit of Truth is my business partner. And I've been guided what to do, how to structure things, which books to read. I mean, it's like everything just kind of falls into place. Mm-hmm. And that's the beautiful thing. When I've needed a mentor, I said, I don't know what to do. I need this. I choose to have the right mentor in my life. Like, it's just a beautiful thing. And it stops being so hard. And it starts becoming very easy. We're flowing. We're being guided. We know all things come together and work for the good. And it's just a peace. And when you bring that into your business, into your work, you're being guided. You're not offended, right? You know exactly, okay, my next step for this. I had to fire someone the other day. I did it with honor. And it's one of those things, you don't want to fire someone. Like, you don't wake up and go, I get to fire someone today. No, but I went, it's not working out. I've given them a chance. I've talked to them. It's just, they're not choosing it right now. That's fine. How do I do it and still honor their spirit? And I said, just adjust my energy to what it needs to be to do this. And it just within 2 days was adjusted, had the conversation. And you know what I really ended up getting the knowing on? That they were trying to do a job that just wasn't fit for them, and it wasn't pulling out the best in them. And I released them to be free so they could do it. And I got to have a conversation with them. And I actually did a truth session with them. And they, from their own mouth, said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to choose this. I think I'll be happier as guided by truth. I was like, boom.
That's beautiful.
You know, if the only reason I was in their life was to help guide the direction of their future, then that's worth it. So Spirit of Truth can guide you into everything, especially with business and relationships, because relationships are business.
It's true. Because, you know, there is only one relationship that, well, I shouldn't say only one, but the most important relationship is the relationship with yourself.
Yes.
With yourself and your creator, with yourself. But wherever you're going, you go with yourself, and you're dealing with yourself and other people. Right. So having a great relationship of love and, you know, acceptance with yourself, then you are able to have other relationships with other people as well. I love your concept. And I think for the most part, it's sort of like my upbringing, like my mom, you know, just having faith and understanding that through faith, I guess I would call it faith. You just have to trust and to trust that inner voice, that voice that's always there within you. Right.
Yeah. And there's a lot. See, there's fear and doubt around that. So this is the thing that I discovered is a lot of people have fear and doubt that they can hear that voice. It gets all polluted. It gets convoluted. And that kind of messes everything up. And then we wonder why it's not working. Right. So here's how you can judge whether you need this or not. Right. If you are in peace, love, and power, you're in your natural state of your spirit. Peace, love, and power. Anything that takes it away needs truth. It's just like if it takes away, what do I believe that allowed this emotion to come forward? Emotions are energetic translations of what you believe. Okay. So what do I believe that allowed this? And it's okay to be upset for a minute. It's not okay to stay upset because it takes your power. It drains your power. Fear and doubt do. So these are the things that hold us back in life. And my thing is, don't we want to live fully experiencing everything that we can to not have any regrets? And you know, if it's opening a business, if it's entrepreneurship, if it's moving up in the corporate ladder, I will say I got my job on the team with negotiations with GE when they had that division. This is years back. I've been my own business owner for years, but I got that job from guidance. It just kind of came to me. And I just had an idea to go meet the VP and explain to her why I would be a good asset to her team and how I would make her look good and how I could save the team money. And she rewrote the job description for me because I didn't have a 4-year degree at the time. Not only did she rewrite it, but she also paid for my college.
Wow.
And that was the guidance I got. And had I not received that guidance, I wouldn't have taken the course of action that I did. And I received very good skills and training while I was on that job. And then I went from that position to being my own boss. You know, I phased out of that and became my own boss and running my own company. But I wouldn't have been on that path. So the guidance is everything. And let's just take it from a subconscious level to a conscious level. And that's when faith comes in. See, when we don't know how to access and hear that, we can have faith. But if you have a belief that counteracts that faith, that belief is a very strong energy. Okay, so it says, be it unto you according to what you believe. So, you know, many of us know we should love ourselves, but do we? I mean, I can tell you, I was pretty pissed off at myself. And very hard on myself. I mean, who needs enemies when you beat the crap out of yourself all the time, right? And so we need truth around that so we don't do that. And we wonder why we're so tired. Well, what are we believing that's draining our energy, right? Sure. So if we get truth on those beliefs, the energy, we can reclaim that power filtered through truth. Boom, we start feeling better. We start getting guidance. Like this to me is the superpower that's our birthright as connected to the truth. Why wouldn't we want to be in that, right?
That's beautiful. So guide us through, you know, the truth method or the truth, and it shows that you're a truth facilitator. So if somebody were to come to you and want to find out what their truth message is and how can they apply it in their life, can you guide us as to what they would get if they were able to meet with you?
Yeah, I can give very simple steps. It takes some practice. We speed it up when we go through the classes, but here we go. The first thing is I choose truth. I choose the eternal truth. So our words are very powerful. Second, we ask, we do a visualization. We visualize the spirit of truth. There's other steps around that, but I'm simplifying.
And again, that could go in all aspects of your life, correct? Like whatever
this is
subject.
The foundation of your life that launches you in every freaking direction. I tell people, once they really discover the power of this, they tell me they wish they would have done it 15 years ago. I mean, that's what they say. I wish I would have known this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because it just changes your life so much. We get so used to having to manage our thoughts, and we think it's just natural. But then when we get to when we feel the difference, we're like, I want more of that. I'll have some of what she's having. I want some of that truth. So we ask, when a belief is bothering us, we ask to be connected. I want to connect. I choose to connect to the eternal truth. This is very limited in it. There's a little more to it, but let's go through the steps. I choose to connect to the eternal truth. What do I believe about this? We let that come to us. What is the truth? Can I remove that belief? Can you remove that belief, the truth? Yes or no? If it's a yes, remove it, replace it with the truth, heal my heart, and reclaim my power filtered. We're getting our power back. Everything is energy. Your thoughts will transfer energy in or out. Everything is energy.
Do you feel that? Sorry, I'm just plugging my computer. Do you feel that a lot of not knowing your truth is also blocking some of the successes that may be, not that's supposed to come your way, but that is not, because you have that obstacle in terms of blocking yourself, not knowing that inner truth?
It's the number one block. It's the number one block that keeps us at the level we're at that we are not satisfied with. Because if we're awakened at all, we're seeking, we know there's more. Our soul says there's more. Even our brain aligns with that, right? Because what's in the soul, your brain's like, there, you could be doing more, right? Or you could be this, or you could be, the brain will tell you all kinds of stuff. It will pretend to be the truth. This is why it's so important to practice this and distinguish the difference between the brain and the eternal truth. The eternal truth will always relieve your soul, set you free, make you feel lighter. You'll feel like a weight's gone. That's what I hear all the time. I feel like a weight's off my shoulder. I feel so good inside of myself. But this is the key to anywhere that you want to go into living with fulfillment. So I tell people, seek it as if your life depends on it, because it actually does. And I'm not saying that because this is not about Claudette's coaching. I'm honored that I am allowed to present this. I'm going to put it that way. Because I'm just 20 years ahead of everybody that's starting now, and I'm shining the light going, this is how we get there. It really freaking works. But I'm so confident about it because it is the eternal truth, which never fails. And it's faithful for everyone. So, but I can tell you, this is how you find fulfillment, deep peace. This is how you can even stand in the midst of conflict. Think about every situation you're in work. Who's had conflict? Come on. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and you can't avoid it because you're going to run up against someone's belief. But it's just, there's no way around it. So if you're standing in the truth of who you are, you're not even afraid of it, because fear, you learn how to process it, get rid of it. It becomes something you no longer accept in your life. And once you understand what that feels like, you're like, I want more of this. Like the minute I knew I could remove fear, I was like, are you kidding? This is amazing. Because I was
literally remove fear and being a fearless person.
Literally remove it, because you're getting, anytime it comes into your energy, this is all about energy. This is science too. Science should not, the truth and science should work together. Okay. So it's all about energy. And so the minute you feel that fear coming, because that's part of the programming of this world, You go, freeze. What do I believe that allows this? Get the truth on that belief, burn it, gone. It's gone. It's not you have to fight it. It's not you have to. So it's gone. And so many people teach you have to go through fear. You have to go around it. You got to do it anyway. What if you can remove it? How much more power would you be in then? Because fear freezes us. It takes our power. It drains it. So think about all these thoughts that go through our mind that we've learned to try to control, manage. We'll get an emotion. It feels terrible. But then a day or two later, it'll be back down to normal. And then you're like, oh, I'm okay again. What if that emotion didn't have to come back in that way ever? Because we got to the root belief, right? So to me, this is like stepping into that superpower because it's stepping into the truth. And you're actually getting rid of what is false and your true identity is rising, which is indestructible. Your spirit made in the image of creation. It's that simple. Yeah.
And by being able to free yourself from all of this, that's when you'll be able to soar in all aspects of your life. Is that accurate?
You can soar. You can soar. You've been guided. What do you want to do in business? What do you want to do in your career? What do you want for a relationship? You'll begin to understand how powerful your thoughts are to manifest. Like this goes very deep, and you begin to shape and create your life. And what I've begun to understand is when something happens and I know I can connect to the, like I have the certainty because I've learned how to connect to the truth. So I trust the truth now. In the beginning, I didn't. Okay. In the beginning, I'm like, I don't know if it'll work for me. Nonsense. I had intuition. It works. I don't know if I can hear it. I trust the truth, but I'll mess it up. These are all the things we go through. But once we practice enough and we get that certainty, which happens, it's just like riding a bike. When you get it, right? Then we're like, okay, this is happening and this appears to be bad. And I could get all flustered and frustrated, or I could just go, what's the truth about it? And I've discovered that there's a lot of things that happen to change our trajectory and shape things. And in the long run, it's actually pointing you in the right direction. Okay. So I'm trusting that all things, if something shifts a plan, I'm like, that's interesting because I know my power is not there. It's here. And it's with truth. And so I know, guess what? I'll be guided on this. This is cool. Let's see how it unfolds. Because when we're connected to the truth, all things work for the good. Okay. And, I even asked a question the other day, and I kid you not, someone sent me a book. I got it in the mail, started reading it, answered my question. I was like, whoa, how convenient is that? It's just so freaking cool because everything starts to come together. Everything starts to flow and it's just easier. You know what? I'm of the age right now. I ain't got no time to be worried about stuff and spending all my energy and spinning. Let's be effective. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's remove the confusion. Let's step into our power. Let's step into what is our birthright. Right?
And I agree with you. And once you find that path, things just flow so much more effortlessly.
So beautiful.
You're just being. You're just a human being versus a human doing. Right? We hear that all the time, but actually
guided. You're guided. You know the next step. You're like, okay. And the sense of urgency doesn't mean I don't react quickly when I need to, but the sense of urgency is totally gone. I just let everything unfold and I am guided. So I do as guided. I mean, you can't just sit back and not do anything, right? But do as guided. And then everything starts to be in harmony with it. And you just start to see it unfold and you're like, this is what I'm capable of. If you have a dream within you to build something, to be a certain thing, a quick thing you can do right now is adjust my energy to what I need to be. That's just quick. I choose to make this easy. I choose to make this fun. I choose for this to be fun. And so when you're looking at that, I just completed the writing of a 12-week Truth Inner Circle, 65 modules. Like that was a lot of work. Okay.
That's amazing.
It was so much work. But it's so good to have it done. It's such a sense of accomplishment. And each time I sat down to write it, I choose for this to be easy. I asked for the guidance because I want to if I'm sharing this information, I want to do it in a way that's worthy of it. But I don't put, some crazy thing on myself. I trust that to flow. And then I was like, I choose for it to be fun. And I would be sitting there working 18 hours a day, smiling because I was having fun. Why not? If you're going to have to do it, have fun doing it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Now, where can people find you?
I have a website called ClaudetteAnderson.com. And I guess we could put a link somewhere for them to go. Yeah. And then on, my programs page, I do have an online self-study. And I also have a 12-week Truth Inner Circle that's opening up. I have a group called Let's Get Truth and a podcast. My second podcast is coming out tomorrow. So I just launched that. It's called Let's Get Truth on Facebook. And I share some information on that. Like I just did, I think you saw the live on procrastination and how the steps to get rid of that. Because all these things, all of our life is what we believe. Mm-hmm. Everything we're experiencing in business, in personal, everything is what we believe. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't we want to get rid of the monkey BS? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm like, great.
I think it's powerful. Someone just said, I'm in love with Claudette Anderson energy. And you know what? That's why usually I would ask more questions, but I just wanted everything to flow. And it seemed like it just flew. Like it just, came in and it just flowed so naturally. And I hope a lot of listeners were able to, and I've seen actually a lot of people that are very in tune with you. It seems as though they connected right away, which is great. Some people may take a hard time. It may not be in that frequency, but a lot of people tuned in and they were very in sync with your energy and all the things that you have to offer. So we'll put in the link below where you could find Claudette Anderson. Claudette, I want to thank you for being part of the show. And everyone, just tune in each and every single day. And this is Ruth. I wanted to remind you that success is in your DNA. So the same way that Claudette is helping you to get out and get the truth, it is your birthright to be able to go out there and be the best that you can be.
Be free, be powerful. I want to see everybody rise. We rise together.
Only together. Only together. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Claudette.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Rendezvous with Ruth podcast show. For more information to help you automate your life and your business, please visit www.ruthdorsainville.com. Remember, success is in your DNA.